Hey, welcome to The Explainer. You know how this goes, right? We've all seen it. Some brilliant new educational program comes along, it shows incredible promise, and then when it's rolled out to more schools, it just kind of fizzles out. So, why do so many good ideas fail? Well, today, we're going to dig into a really powerful framework that's designed to solve that exact problem. I mean, it's a super common story, isn't it? A fantastic new teaching method gets these amazing results in one classroom with one group of students. But the moment you try to scale it up across the whole district, it just falls flat. What is going on there? Well, at the heart of it is something the experts call the implementation gap. Think of it as this giant canyon between a great idea that works under perfect, controlled conditions and the messy, complicated reality of making it work for everyone, everywhere, every single day. And here's the key. It's not that the idea was bad. It's that the implementation, the rollout, is what failed. So to really get the solution, we first have to look at the source of the problem. And for decades, that problem has been the traditional top-down approach to innovation, which has basically been a broken bridge for a long, long time. Think of it exactly like that. For years, the model has been researchers on one side of a deep canyon and practitioners, the teachers and principals doing the actual work, on the other. The researchers do their thing in isolation, they design what they think is a perfect solution, and then they basically just chuck the blueprints across the gap, hoping the practitioners can figure out how to build the bridge all by themselves. Yeah, that old model, it's totally a one-way street. Researchers design something, then they just hand it off. The source material calls this a sharp division of labor, which is a polite way of saying they don't work together. The new approach we're talking about flips that script completely. It's all about a collaborative, two-way partnership.
Okay, so throwing blueprints across a canyon is a terrible idea. We get it. What's the alternative then? Well, it's a new model that's all about building the bridge together.
It's this really powerful idea called design-based implementation research, or DBIR for short. And at its heart, it's about one simple thing: breaking down the walls between the people who study education and the people who actually live it every day. They get together as equal partners to solve real-world problems. So this is the big shift. We stop throwing blueprints. Instead, everybody comes to the middle of the canyon to build the bridge together, side by side. The goal isn't just to make something that sounds good in a research paper. The goal is to co-design something that's actually usable in a busy classroom, scalable across a diverse district, and sustainable long after the research grant has run out. So how does DBIR actually make this happen? I mean, it sounds great in theory, but what does it look like in practice? Well, it's not just a vague idea. It's a very structured approach that's guided by 4 core principles that totally reshape the whole process. It really boils down to these 4 things. First, you start with real problems that people actually care about. Second, you commit to designing the solutions together. Third, you make sure you're actually learning stuff along the way that other people can use. And fourth, you build the systems needed to make the change stick. Okay, let's dig into each one. All right, first up, and this is the most fundamental piece of the puzzle, focusing on problems that actually matter in the real world. And right off the bat, this is a huge shift. Instead of a researcher in an office deciding what's important to study, DBIR projects start by asking the practitioners, what are the persistent, nagging problems you face every day? It brings everyone to the table, teachers, administrators, even students and parents, to define the challenge that they all agree is worth solving.
Okay, so you've got your problem. What's next? Well, principle number 2 kicks in, and this is all about teamwork.
This is where researchers and practitioners truly become co-designers. They don't just talk once at the beginning. They work together in these continuous cycles. They'll build a prototype, test it out in a real classroom, get feedback, and then refine it. It's not a one-and-done handoff. It's this constant back and forth, a recursive partnership where ideas just keep flowing and getting better with every single loop.
And, this quote from the source material just hits the nail on the head. DBIR is about creating a radically different relationship. It's built on mutual respect and this shared belief that the absolute best solutions come when you combine the rigor of research with the deep wisdom of practice.
All right, on to number 3. This one's all about making sure that all this hard work doesn't just stay stuck in one school. The goal is to develop knowledge that can actually be shared.
See, a DBIR project isn't about slapping a quick Band-Aid on a single problem. The real goal is to generate practical, real-world knowledge. As you're solving a problem in one district, you're also learning these critical lessons about the secret sauce. What is working? Who is it working for? And under what conditions? And that's the knowledge that lets a good idea be adapted successfully somewhere else.
And that brings us to our fourth and final principle. And honestly, this might be the most important one for making sure change actually sticks around. It's all about building the capacity to sustain change. This is absolutely crucial. When we say capacity, we're not just talking about like a half-day training session for teachers. It's about changing the system itself. It's about creating new routines, new support structures, new processes so that the innovation becomes part of the school's actual DNA. You're building an entire ecology of supports that nurtures the new idea so it can survive and thrive in the long run.
So you take all four of these principles and you put them together, and what do you get? It's way more than just a new research method. What you get is a whole new philosophy for building change in education that actually lasts.
Because at the end of the day, DBIR isn't about doing research just to publish a paper. It's a tool. It's a means to a much, much more important end: transforming our educational systems to be more equitable, more effective, and to make sure that every single student gets access to powerful, amazing learning opportunities. And that really brings us to this final powerful idea from the source material. You can't perfectly script everything that happens in a classroom. You can't design practice. But what you can do is design for practice. And that's the whole game, isn't it? The real question is, how do we build systems that are designed from the get-go to adapt, to learn, and to just keep getting better over time?